I thank you. My grandfather actually got off the boat and from Ireland, and he went to Montana to build the railroad. And he built it for about 6 months, and then he just decided it was just too cold in Montana. And believe it or not, came back to Boston's more temperate. Otherwise, I would have had a funny accent, okay? But I don't, okay? My grandfather did return to Boston, so I have this accent, which I don't understand why everyone else sounds so funny, and we don't. So I thank you, Administrator Pekoske, and I want to return to an issue that you and I have spoken about previously, fee diversion. The diversion of the September 11th security fee to deficit reduction has had a significant consequence for our aviation system. This misguided policy siphons nearly $1.5 billion from TSA's budget every single year, depriving TSA, depriving you of the critical resources you need in order to provide security for our nation. And that's why I introduced the FASTER Act, which would end this fee diversion and ensure that TSA and its workforce have the tools they need. Administrator Pekoske, do you agree that ending fee diversion is critical to improving the security of our transportation system?
So, Markey, I couldn't agree with that statement more. This fee diversion has been going on since the 2013 Balanced Budget Agreement. It goes on for several more years by an extension of that agreement. It's $1.52 billion in FY23 that would provide additional top line for TSA.
You know, and it's absolutely critical. We had to fight very hard after 9/11 to finally put in place the security provisions, which we have. But again, a vision or security without funding is an hallucination, right? You got to have the funding in order to make sure that it works. So you should be able to use these resources to give transportation security officers and air marshals a well-deserved and overdue raise. Better pay and benefits would also allow the agency to recruit and maintain a talented, experienced workforce. Mr. Pekoske, do you agree that improving that pay and benefits of the TSA workers will, in this way, improve airport security?
Yes, sir, without question. And it's absolutely critical that we improve pay. It's fundamentally unfair what we're doing now.
When we invest in workers' economic security, we invest in our own security as well. I agree with you 100%. $1.5 billion every single year taken out of your budget. While people wonder, are we secure? You know, is the morale of our workers high enough in order to protect everyone who's going through airports in our country? You know, obviously, we know what the answer is. You know, we have to show that we respect them. We have to show that we have the resources to continually upgrade the resources. So I saw that at Logan Airport with Mohammed Atta and the other 9. They were scoping out Logan Airport for months, just sitting there. And I was informed by those workers in terms of all the provisions I was able to build into the legislation in 2007 that mandates those protections. But you also then need to fund it, you know, because they're constantly testing. Mohammed Atta had a PhD. These are smart people. They're trying to figure out how to penetrate the system. And if you're not continually investing, they will find the aperture. They will find the way through. And then we will have another catastrophe. So this funding is absolutely essential. And I want to turn to a related issue, wages and benefits for airport service workers. These individuals are the unsung heroes of our aviation system, but they are often overworked and underpaid. And that's why I introduced with Senator Blumenthal the Good Jobs for Good Airports Act, which would help ensure that airport service workers are paid a living wage and benefits, like improving the pay of TSA officers, improving the labor standards for airport service workers makes our airports safer by lowering turnover and ensuring that airports have an experienced workforce. Administrator Pekoske, do you support increasing pay and benefits of airport service workers? And do you agree that improving these labor standards will improve airport security?
Yes, sir. I think increasing pay will allow the airports and airlines to be more selective as to who they hire. And it will also appropriately compensate those workers for the terrific work that they do, and they are the unsung heroes of this system.
And I want to thank you because I appreciate your team working with my team to address my concerns related to privacy, because surveillance and security are not the same thing. Travelers should not be faced with a false choice between privacy and protection. I look forward to working with you on that as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator.
Senator Thune.